Like the one that was born in Bowling Green, Kentucky in 1880. He was the youngest of 6 children. When he was 4 years old, his mom died of pneumonia. His father was a busy lawyer. His dad couldn't handle the 6 kids in his law practice, so he sent his youngest son and brother to stay with the grandmother most of the time. Through his grandmother, like all kids with a great-grandma, he learned to appreciate good cooking. As an adult, he became a traveling salesman. He traveled all over the country selling his products. As he traveled, he kept notes on some of the places that he stopped to eat, so he'd remember the good places next time he came to town. He'd say, oh, yeah, that's right. 1935, there were no chain restaurants. No great places to eat along the freeway because there weren't freeways yet. The interstate highway system hadn't been built. In fact, by this point, it hadn't even been dreamt up yet. It was the Eisenhower highway system eventually. So he would bring his wife Florence, and between the two of them, they compiled a list of hundreds of good places to eat, many of them off the beaten path, along with the prices that you would pay at the restaurant, so they would know. Many of their friends who also traveled would call them up and ask them, hey, have you ever been to this city? Oh, yeah. Where's a good place to eat? Christmas, 1935. He put together a list of 167 of the best places to eat in 30 different states and the District of Columbia. He printed up the list and put them in a blue folder and sent that list to his friends instead of a Christmas card. He said, you've asked me over and over again. I just thought you'd enjoy this for Christmas. Well, the list that he and Florence had put together had become so popular, and it was passed around so much that they became inundated with requests for more lists. And that's when they realized that no one in America had ever compiled a list of really good places to eat in America. So in 1936, he wrote a book called The Adventures in Good Eating. He wrote about all kinds of places, including one in Kentucky. He said it was a little cafe just about half a mile north of Corbin. It's open all year except for Christmas, a good place to eat. He said great smokies, continuous 24-hour service, sizzling steaks, good fried chicken, hot biscuits. Dinner's about $1. That's if you have, everything. $1 top, 60 cents for the bottom price of dinner. In 1952, he introduced his own bread to the world. A year later, he sold the rights to this bread, and he made a fortune. And then he licensed his name to other food products because the country had grown to trust the man with a name that symbolized good food. His name was Duncan Hines. Duncan Hines never baked a cake. That's not what he was famous for. I mean, as far as we know, he never baked a cake. But he just sold his name. He was a renowned food critic and author. He found a niche in America, a need that wasn't being fulfilled, and he filled it. And in doing so, in finding that on his own, he built something. He became wealthy through his own hard work, his dedication, his ingenuity. Duncan Hines became an American that we don't even know anymore. We just know Duncan Hines cake mix. In just a few days, we're going to decide if Duncan Hines didn't build his cake mix, who did? Was it the government? Soon, we decide.